Now, slaves were a sign of wealth and power in the ancient world. And a person would not readily give up a slave because it would weaken his own prestige in the community and also lessen the inheritance that he would have to offer to his descendants. However, slavery is a two-edged sword. People that own slaves could get a great deal out of them. Female slaves were more important and more valued than male slaves because they could reproduce, have children, and add to the family wealth of the slave owner. However, something would happen. Around the age of 30, the value of any slave, male or female, would begin to decline. And the older and less fertile slaves became, the more of a burden they became on the slave owner. It would be hard to get rid of them. And certainly having elderly and sick slaves was a very big burden to carry. So many times around the age of 30, 35, owners would simply set a slave free in the ancient world, not because they were generous or kind, but because they just didn't want to be bothered. But Onesimus was not in that category. He was still young and vigorous. He broke the Roman law. He ran away from his slave owner. He could have been severely punished, branded, disfigured for that crime. He was at the peak of his productive years and power. St. Paul comes across him. St. Paul himself at this time is imprisoned, and Onesimus helps him out and learns from Paul the power of Christ to set a person free spiritually. At this point, Paul decides, when he learns that he was a runaway slave from a prominent Christian, decides to send him home.